Back in 1917, Mary, Jesus' mom, Our Lady, appeared to three shepherd children in Fatima, Portugal. And I went on a pilgrimage to visit all these places and retrace the lives of the children, which was pretty incredible. Over 2 weeks, we had early mornings, late nights. I was with 45 other people, two of whom are priests. Several have been on the trip multiple times. And the leader of the trip has been, I think he said 41 or 42 times. So he knows the stories and the land very well. We also had a local guide, Armando, who, oh man, his fervor was just incredible. Hearing him tell the stories of the children, and it felt like we were almost like reliving the steps that they took in some ways. And so I am going to attempt to capture all of these stories in either video or scrolling through my pictures and telling you about it. There's no way to encapsulate everything, but hopefully you can glean some tidbits and maybe it'll interest you in making your own pilgrimage one day. So here we go. Where to even begin? I'm not sure. We will start at the beginning, I guess. I went one question I have been getting more is how did I even find out about this pilgrimage? It was not on my radar at all. I went to a Catholic business conference last year and made a new friend, Catherine. We stayed in touch throughout the year. She went on this pilgrimage last summer. And when she got back, all she told me was, Megan, you have to do it. It's life-changing. And so I signed up. I was on a wait list. I got a call back in the fall and said, we have a spot open up. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this. And I didn't know anybody else going on the trip. I had no idea what to expect, which I think is probably good because then having no expectations is better than high expectations, maybe. So prior to the trip, I knew I wanted to go a couple days early, so I didn't go into it tired. And I was able to connect with another couple going who were also going early. We flew into Lisbon, and I was able to meet up with them. I'd never met them before, Diane and Rod. And they thankfully have been to Europe multiple times, so they kind of knew the lay of the land, how to navigate. All the roads are very narrow and windy, and all the buildings are very old. So we get to Lisbon, found the cutest little Airbnb style house where everybody had their own bedroom, bathroom, suite, and then a shared space and courtyard. I got to eat an orange straight from a tree, which I've never done before over there. Just everybody has a fruit tree in their yard, which is kind of cool. In January, I get a lot of questions about the weather. It was cold and rainy, but not freezing and windy, which is what I'm used to here in Kansas these days. So that was nice. And we also, our hotel was walking distance to monastery, St. Jerome's monastery, which I believe St. Jerome is who started translating the Bible first. That's what he's known for. And this monastery has a church next to it, or attached to it, of course, that has Mass. And that's where we went to Mass on Sunday. And it was all in Portuguese. But one thing that I absolutely love about the Catholic faith is that no matter what language or where you are in the world, it's the same format. So I knew exactly what was going on. I prayed the prayers for Mass in English while everybody else is praying in Portuguese. And I knew when to stand, when to kneel, everything that was going on. So I love that part of it. This church, though, incredible. I'll put some pictures down below so you can see. Everything is stone, all hand carved from, I want to say it's at 1400s on the outside of the church, but it might predate that even. That was pretty incredible. And there weren't a lot of paintings in the church. It was mostly just stone, but very intricately cut stone, which is pretty cool. Then Diane and I went to the Maritime Museum of Portugal and got to tour the history of Portugal. They're very into exploration via ships, which is kind of neat. So there were a ton of different sized recreations of ships throughout the years. They have very interesting history as well for it. They've been around a long time. But for being such a small country, that was cool. And then we ate at the most incredible restaurant. Probably in my top 3 of meals that I had on this trip. And it was the cutest little diner, not diner like in the US. It was more boutique-y, bougie diner, we'll call it. We had all the courses, bottle of wine, bottle of champagne, and I learned to like port. So that was pretty fun. There's different types of port. Not all of it tastes like prune juice. And that was good to know. Also got to try these little things. I call them pasties. I don't think they're actually called pastel, something de pastel. Again, I'll have to look up the exact words for it. But it's this little custard mini pie with like vanilla creamy custard and cinnamon in it. And it is just amazing. So highly recommend. I believe you can get them here in the US. We did a Fatima reunion in Virginia a couple weeks ago, and our host was able to find a few. They're not all created equal, but still pretty delicious. That gets us to the first day or the first couple days that I was over there. And then next we'll dive into meeting the entire group and what that experience was like, driving across Portugal to get to Fatima, because it was an 1.5-hour bus ride.